Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Monday, October the 17th, 2022. Today we're pulling from the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot cards. So I feel like they're giving this positive affirmation, confirmation, if you will, for the Mercury retrograde, where they said the holiday season is going to be the best it has been. I feel like for a lot of us, because we went through that season and unfortunately some of us have lost loved ones, and it's like coming into that and actually getting to enjoy the holiday season. We decided to, on a Christmas theme, we're getting all the stuff together and we're, getting ready for that to come in. Hanukkah is before Christmas for us. We don't do the gift part of it. We just do like the spiritual side of things because my kids still celebrate Christmas. So I would never take that away from them. So it's just like getting ready for that side of things where, you collaborate the holidays. I remember someone talking about how her mother was Jewish, her father, or the other way. I think her mom was Jewish. No, father was Jewish, mother was Catholic. And they said it always made the holidays fun. Like they had a lot of love and celebration in the home because, anyone that follows the Hebrew faith, especially right now, it's like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shemshat Torah. So it's just like been, this time of just, praising and being thankful and being open and being in touch with spirit. I know someone in particular that had someone in their family transition to the other side of things. And it's like now her eyes are open to, beyond the veil, as I like to call it. She's seeing everything. And it's really nice to experience, to see how open she is and excited she is to the other side of things. So we start off with the moon. We always talk about balance with the Boaz and Jehovah with the two towers there, yin and yang. So I feel like the full moon that will be, when is that? November 5th. I feel like that's what they're highlighting here. November 5th. Halloween will already be at an end here. We just see the pumpkin patch and everything. So in our area, this is when it starts to tend to get like a little bit more cooler. This is when you really start to get the coolness. We still have like warmer days, but it's only like 15. It doesn't go that much higher than that. We're lucky if it reaches 20. But it's just like getting into that season. We have the Three of Pentacles here. So that's where I feel like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I still watch, I think it's a Christian. I feel like it's both a little bit of Christian and Catholic. But it's just like a Mass for Shut-ins. It got really political. So I'm hoping when the new season starts, which is tomorrow, that it'll go back to, the whole reason why I watched it was to give you that, going back to the spirituality side of things. I love it, but it's just like, we have to, that's why I like Tribal Trails, because it talks about the trials that we've been through and how we come up on the other side of things and how the word of the Lord, how spirituality has really, played that part in our lives. And I said, I've read it as a single person, as a mother, as a wife, and then as a widow. And you could really see how it's, were things that really didn't make sense to you because you never experienced it. You could sit there and now, talk about those experiences. So I feel like really strongly when I did this for IG, I really felt this work sense where there's this collaboration of three. And I felt like that. I felt like someone had an idea. Someone is sitting there and making a plan for it. And then someone's going to like pull the trigger and make it happen. You know what I mean? So I feel like in that kind of sense. So collaborations in that way. But I really do get that sense of, everybody falling in sync with each other. It just fits together. It's like puzzle pieces. They're showing Lego pieces. We have the lovers. Again, I feel like this is either the full moon. Either November is going to have two full moons, or it'll be the first full moon in December. I feel like in that sense where it's just like they were saying, again, that light of celebration. The full moon on November 5th is actually going to be a lunar eclipse. Lunar? I believe that's right. Solar. The new moon is lunar. Yes, full moon will be a solar eclipse. Just trying to keep all my eclipses clear here. But I feel like, again, it's just like, that shift of energy. I feel like you're going to see things like how it, you know what I mean? I feel like there's change going on. I feel like it's void of course while it happens. It's like letting the chips fall where they may. I feel like because the new moon coming up on the 25th is going to be I feel like, loose lips. I feel like jibber jabber too much. So I feel like if you have the gift of gab, I feel like your venomous words stirring the pot. So it's just like, watch what you're saying. I feel like this is a time, especially in a work environment, to see who falls where. You know what I mean? Who acts out, you know what I mean? Who acts professional. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's, you know, it's not the best time for all of this to happen. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I mean like in the way like, you know, I feel like in the sense the best not time to happen because it's like a lot of eyes. A lot of eyes. I feel like some people take advantage of certain situations where they try to, they're showing me when I was working at our DM with Shane, and it's just like one of our team lead would either on holiday or wasn't feeling well, and you know one of the other leads would try to come in and you know come over and bark at us what to do, and it's like we are trained enough to know exactly what we need to do, like stand down, like calm down, you know what I mean? Like we only had like an hour before our shift was done, and you know these leads are coming over trying to bark at us, you know, do this, do that, and we're just like yeah, that's all done, thanks, like you know what I mean? Like we know how to do our job. You know what I mean? And then it's just like with this Nine of Pentacles, this rebirth in our life. So that's what I mean with like this second full moon here with the Lovers. I feel like you have a connection. You guys just click with something on an idea or something here where it's just like you guys really connect here. I feel like there's trust. You know what I mean? And that's the hardest thing to find at work. You know, even someone told me that something recently is not to trust anyone. And I'm like, yeah, I totally understand that. You know what I mean? But it's just like, you know how it is in a work environment. Emotions run high. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, let people do what they're going to do and just do your best. I feel like it's, you know what I mean? Go in, do what you're supposed to do, and then go. You know what I mean? The people are going to try and, you know, puff out their chest a lot. And it's just like, you know, let them do whatever they're going to do and just do what you're supposed to. You know what I mean? Do what you always done, even when they're there or not there. You do your best, even then some. Don't worry about it. I feel like this is going to change a lot of perspectives. This rebirth in your life. I feel like, especially with this connection. You know what I mean? I feel like it's hard to trust people because it's like there's always people ready to slit your throat to step up above the others. They are literally showing Bob loves Abishola. And his sister, Christine, got this really nice corporate job, cush job, where people actually saw her and listened to her. And the guy turned around, went to human resources, and because he seduced her, and they slept together, and they're not supposed to. And they ended up, you know, firing her for it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know what I mean? I feel like in that way, I don't feel like anyone's trying to sleep with anyone here. But I feel like it's just like, it's hard to trust. It's hard to let those walls down when you've been, you know, hurt time and time and time again. It's just like, is this actually someone I can trust? Or is this someone else ready to, you know, they're saying heathen. Is this someone that's going to harm me? Is this someone that's trying to get my job? Is this someone that's willing to sacrifice myself to get, you know, they think they're going to climb higher to the top. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, seeing people's true colors, I feel like. So I feel like this is going to change a lot of perspectives. But I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles, they're talking about financial abundance here. But I feel like it's just with myself, like I was talking about, I finally got myself a shawl. I wanted to for a while. It's like the shawl that you would wear when you would go to the synagogue. And it has this prayer that goes across your crown chakra. Lauren from 90 Day Fiance, her and Alec, she was showing pictures while she was in Israel, and she had the shawl on. And I was just like, you know, I watched for Yom Kippur, the closing ceremonies. I don't feel like they're technically considered a synagogue. I feel like it's more of a spiritual gathering of people, but it's like that community is there. You know what I mean? And that's something I was like, that's something I want to be a part of. It's like a community part where it's just like we come together as a community. We're there for each other. You know, our children know each other. It's like that sense of camaraderie. It's like, you know, fellowship, you know, in that way. But it was just like, he's like, you know, someone told, a rabbi told him, it's like, you know, once you put, you know, chairs and books inside of a spiritual dwelling, it's like the dancing and the laughing and the and all that that connection, you know, leaves. And it was just a beautiful, like, hour and a half of just a beautiful festival of music. They opened up the altar, and, you know, it was like, well, they called it an ark. They opened up the ark, and it's like, you know, allowing your wish to come in and trying to be a better person. That's what Yom Kippur is all about, is forgiveness of sins, not only of ours, but of people that have transgressed against us, and try to be a rebirth into, you know, this beautiful time. Very spiritual. It's like, you know, I always tell people, it's like, take this moment, any moment in your life where you have that epiphany where it's just like you're going against your better self. It's like, sit there and take that moment for change. You don't have to wait for a certain time of the year. A lot of people make New Year's resolutions. And it's like, you don't have to wait for the new year. If you feel at this time, at this moment, it's a time for change, that you're not acting as your higher self, then take it. It's like, that's a message from the higher up. It's like, you're not behaving the way you're supposed to. You're not conducting yourself the way you're supposed to. You know what I mean? You're going against your moral compass here. Doesn't matter if you don't believe in anything but yourself. That's fine. You believe in something. You know what I mean? So it's just like a force. So it's time for change. So analyze complex or confusing situations you find yourself in. Are things really what they seem to be? What's going on under the surface? Beware of deception and listen to your instincts. They know the truth. Listen to your instincts, I literally said that to someone that I'm close with, and I was just like, I'm just doing X, Y, and Z, and I'll help out wherever I can. And they were like, yep, absolutely. That's all you can do. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is not a time for chaos. This is not a time to be crazy. This is a time just to come in, to go in, do what you're supposed to, like you always do. So the Three of Pentacles. So you get that collaboration. You get that click. You know what I mean? So maybe there's people around that you work with. Like we definitely had that at RDM. We had the perfect flow with certain people where it's just like with us and Bindery, there was I wasn't Bindery. When I went over to print, the three of us were workhorses. That's why our team lead loved us, because everyone that worked there, when they got rid of the other one there, the lazy one, it was just like he knew we were all workhorses. He waited until everybody chose their shifts because they were trying to make, these certain people are on days, these certain people are on afternoons, these certain people are on overnights. So they sat there and they're just like, okay, he sat there and he saw where the workhorses were. And they asked me about someone and they're like, she's elderly. And I'm like, and she does circles around all these young people. What are you talking about? Just because she's up there in numbers, that's like her earth age, just like, oh my gosh, she would do circles around everybody there. Like, like you cannot find someone like her anywhere. She retired out of her job. That's what of a hard worker she was. It's like, you have someone like that, you keep that. You had this one sitting there diddly-daddling all day. The last maybe, 4 hours of her shift starts crying that they can't do their job. Oh, look at all this. It's like, that could have been all done already. What are you talking about? It's like, you think you're the first one that has to do that? You know that every single day we come in here, that is a job that has to get done and out. Our shift was the only one that got the whole thing done every single morning. Everybody else, 3 hours. How is that even possible? So it's just like, that's what I'm saying. It's just, I feel like this is going to be like, a purge, I can see. So whether you're making presents for Sandy Claus, so, that's where Jack got mistaken. He thought it was Sandy Claus and not Santa Claus, to hand out on Christmas Eve, or working on something a little more tame. The Three of Presents indicates it's time to work with others to accomplish your project, to accomplish your objective. So it's just like, I don't even feel like it's our objective. I feel like it's just like, go in and do what you're supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, they put someone on our shift just to be like a spy, and they asked my opinion. I said, that's exactly who you should lay off. Not her. She's a hard flipping damn worker. She'll get that all done and then some. She will sit there and I guarantee you, I would see her. I worked with her. I saw her. She would be over on the mailer. She would be over there coiling. She'd be over there punching. You know what I mean? She's just that type of person. You know what I mean? Shut your mouth, get your job done, and go home. We were all like that. That's why that shift was so successful. Because we knew what we had to do. We knew what was expected of us, and we just did the job. Instead of flopping our mouth, and it's like, that's the problem. Y'all do too much of this jibber jabber, and instead of putting that energy into your job. It's like, shut your mouth and just do the job. So we go to the Lovers. So with duality, we always get like a choice. I don't feel like this is a choice. I just feel like connection. I definitely feel like this is where the both of you see each other. We both have a mutual understanding, and you just sit there, and it's just like, that is a friendship that blooms. I feel like even myself, it's hard to trust people because time and time again, it's happened. You know what I mean? Where, loose lips sink ships. It's like, who do you trust and who do you don't? You know what I mean? So it's just like, do the best you can. You've created meaningful relationships, connections, and relationships that will enrich your life. Build these connections on a foundation of honest and mutual respect. And that's the thing. If you don't have respect for yourself, how are you going to respect anyone else? I feel like you have to respect all those around you. You know what I mean? And you can see where the respect is given and where the respect is just like, cutthroat. It's just like they don't even respect you and your position. So I feel like in that way, it's like respecting and doing the best. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's where the trust could be given. I feel like in that sense, maybe for some of you, you find someone. They were definitely talking about someone coming out of the blue. Fine. If that's what you're looking for, but I definitely feel that work sense, especially with him pushing this barrel here, He's filling up the barrel and the big guy's pushing the barrel. There's also an element of choice in the Lover's tarot card. Yep, we were just talking about that. If you have a decision to make, don't overanalyze the situation. Decide with your heart. Again, following our intuition. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is what this transition. And look at the yellowness of this moon. They were talking about instinct. You know what I mean? Here they're telling you like to follow your heart. Our heart chakra definitely, you know what I mean? But I also feel like your brain needs to come in here. I'm definitely someone that leads with their heart, and my brain is like, what are you doing? You're not seeing the logical side of that. And me, I feel like it's just like, I was told, oh, that was selfish. If you're not sitting there giving everybody this person all your money, then you're selfish. And it's just like, but wait, you don't do the same for me. You're always like trying to slit my throat, trying to get money. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's not logical. You know what I mean? It's just like, sometimes you have to take a step back and let the brain get in there. Tell your heart, take 5. 9 of Presents. So this rebirth in our life. Maybe some of you have a child coming into your life. But this rebirth, like, honestly, like with that shawl and just like, your crown chakra, it's just like that connection. But I don't know. Ever since watching that festival, I definitely have to go on that channel and see if they have any more. But, I was definitely worried that someone, because I've heard, vulgar comments about it before, dancing with sheets on your head. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, that's so rude. I'm like, well, don't come in my house and desecrate it. It's like, what you're coming into when you come into my house. Faith-based things and skulls. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I wanted to drape it over maybe a Mother Mary, but I was afraid it would get caught on her and then she could fall over and break. So I was just like, maybe, on one of my wall units, where I have our shofar and stuff like that. And I was just like, it came with this beautiful pouch. So I'm like, you know what? Just for the sake of not having my heart broken in that way, I'm just going to sit there and fold it up and put it away. Because you're going to look at that, you're not going to know what it is. You know what I mean? I don't need, disparaging remarks like that. It's like, this is my home. I don't come into your home and make disparaging remarks. Don't come into my home and make disparaging remarks. But they're the first ones that ask me to pray for them when they go through something. So the 9 of Presents, material abundance. You made your dreams come true and reaping the rewards of your hard work. Now that you have everything you need, it's important to set yourself up for sustained success by managing your income wisely. So this is where it's just like, I feel like this is maybe a raise. I don't know if there's a bonus, but I definitely feel like some sort of financial something here. I don't know. I feel like this is something that's sustainable though. You know what I mean? That's where I feel like it's a raise. You know what I mean? Like, so, like sometimes I'm like, oh, it's not going to last forever. Here, I feel like it's, as long as you don't sabotage yourself, as long as you don't, don't fall on the sword for nobody. That's your check. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, just, do what you're supposed to and go. But I feel like, some little something here coming. So I feel like, Christmas season, we want to indulge people, but, at the end of the day, it's just like, stay within budget, sit there and, like with myself, it's like, working overtime, use that money for Christmas instead of sitting there and getting into debt over Christmas. So it's like, working overtime hours, They have sometimes have an overtime incentive. So it's just like doing that. So that way, you know, you're not hurting at Christmas time, you know? So, but I also feel like it's like, keep doing your savings. Don't let this be a time that you slack with that. I definitely was talking to someone like, you know, do you have this? Yes, I do. I was like, if you can, I know it's hard as a single parent, put in $10 in a youth account for her child. I'm like, if you could do it like 10, like, you know, I definitely started off with a small amount, you know what I mean? And I could only do it once a month, but you know, wherever I can, I'll put even a little bit more. So it's just like, you know, it may not be a ton of money, but it's just like when they turn 18, you know, they're just like, wow, I have this, and continue saving. Like, I'm definitely telling my kids, like, you know, yes, have your household income that you guys share for the home, have a savings account together, but definitely keep this, I hope that you carry this savings onto as you get older. Like, you know, God forbid something happens, you know, hopefully I'll be there to help you, you know, through it. But you have that little nest egg there that you can keep building on. You know, God forbid if you know, end up in a situation where it's just like, you know, you have that, you don't have to worry as much. I will always be there to support my kids no matter what, you know, until I transition, you know. But it's just like, you never know what life's going to throw you. And unfortunately, that is a sad freaking thing that I had to teach my children, you know. It's just like, you don't know sometimes how life is going to turn out, you know. So it's just like sitting there and making wise decisions, instilling that in them. Not saying not to trust your partner, but definitely sit there and have that discussion with your partner. I love you very much. This is going to be our household account. This will be our, you know, joint savings account, but we're both should have our own savings account. Women used to do that in the 40s and 50s. You know, they would get allowance for the house. They would take $10 out of it and put it away into a savings account. Oh my gosh, this happened? Oh, don't worry, baby. Look, I've been saving $10 for how long? I've got the money to take care of it. We'll be just fine. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, you never know where life's going to take you. It's just, you know, unfortunately, sometimes it's a teaching lesson that you can learn from. So with the reverse with the Hangman, I see as a positive. You know what I mean? It's just like crown chakra. It's like seeing things from a different perspective. Enlightenment. I definitely feel like this intuition, you know, when we talk about Shakaut, it's like, this is the time, my ear's ringing right now, the time of resurrection. You know, we can't tell what God's going to do. He does it. He's on his own timeline, you know, but it's like, if there was going to be one, this is the time it would happen. So it's this time of faith, you know, Shimshat Torah, the time of receiving the 10 Commandments, the time of receiving the Torah. It's like, you know, getting into those spirituality of things, you know what I mean? But I definitely love the fact of, like, you know, fellowship and community and, you know, like I'll say fellowship again. It's just like, you know that this is your home away from home. You know this is your family away from family. You know what I mean? It's like a big family reunion. Like, you know, if you do Shabbat, if you do the high holidays, it's like a big family reunion where your kids can, you know, get together. Some of it, you're lucky enough that you have, you know, your brothers and your sisters with their children there. You know, so it's even that much more meaningful, you know, to have that positivity in your life, you know. Even if you don't go every single time that you're supposed to, whenever you can. So you're really stuck, trapped, or caught up in an unexpected situation that seems dire. Maybe you're facing unforeseen setbacks to have put your progress on hold, or you're feeling restless, lacking in direction. So when you're feeling that way, it's like, don't do anything at all. When you are not sure what to do not make desperate moves. Do not sit there and make bold moves. Sit there and just do what you know. You know, it's just this energy that's building. You know what I mean? Like, we're headed to this new moon, but I'm feeling it right now. Like, why do I feel so anxious? You know what I mean? I feel excited right now, to tell you the truth. I know I'm excited for the high holidays tomorrow. We're ending Shakaut. We go into Shimshat Torah, and it's just like, I feel that excitement building in me. But I feel like, you know, with like work-wise, life-wise, it's just like, don't make desperate moves. Don't make desperate things. Like, you know, just sit there and do what you're supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you don't need to puff out your chest and be like, oh, this is my time to make my claim. When you make moves like that, that's when things end up blowing up in your face. Try to work with new circumstances instead of going against them. There you go. What did I just say? Work with the new circumstance. This is the energy we're in. This is the flow we're in. Let's just work with it. Like I said, you know, what they were showing with RDM, one of our, I can't remember who it was, but he would not show up that day, and it's like, not a big deal. We already did the work. You know what I mean? Like, our shift was practically done. It was like an hour left of our shift. Oh, this needs to be, they would sit there and bring all these in. All these need to be done. I'm like, yeah, I'm gone in an hour. It's like, yep, just let her flap her gums. She would flap her gums and leave, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gone in an hour. I'm not, I'm not going to tell someone that's way more senior than me, oh, this is what she said. She would just come in there, and she would come directly to me. What did you do all night? I'm like, it was already in bindery. It's already been cut, pressed, boxed, ready to ship. Like, that's how well our shift worked. They'll be like, anytime they needed anything printed, not a problem. Sit there, boom, done. Can you do this for me? Yep, no problem. I'll get it done for you. You know what I mean? They would come in, they're just like, can I take this? Yep, go ahead. You want to take it? Take it, You guys want some work to do? Take it. Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and stop you. They would sit there and take the cart over. It's like, I'm not going to start someone from working. Then they come over and they don't see any carts around. They're just like, oh, where's all your jobs? They're already boxed and shipped. What do you want from me? You may be happily surprised where you end up if you go with the flow. That's what I'm saying. Three of the cooperation with the Three of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles. You may end up sitting there having a deeper connection with people because they sit there and, like I said, they come back and they're just like, yep, the place didn't fall apart. They did what they were supposed to. That's what you get training for. When they're there or not, it's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, what you're supposed to do. Are you going to do what you're supposed to do? Or are you going to act like a clown? You know what I mean? This is a void of course time. Just like they said, go with the flow of things. This is not a time to fight against it. This is not a time to make big, bold moves. This is not a time to sit there and try to, puff out your chest and be like, oh, this is why I'm better in X, Y, and Z. It's go with the flow. There's deep integrated relationships here. So you're either going to sit there and put your foot in your mouth. They literally showed with IG that they sat there and they took your top lip and your bottom lip, and there was a button there. It's like, button your mouth. If you need to vent, go to your loved one. Go to your girlfriends. Go to your guy friends. Kiki. Go to your friends, period, and Kiki. Do not sit there and do that at work. Do not sit there and run your mouth at work. New moon is in Scorpio. Watch your venomous words. Take this time to rest, rejuvenate, woosah. This is not a time to go crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Monday, October 17th, 2022. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card. Bye.